Okay, perfect. So, hello, Kajin.
Hi,
How
Alexis.
how are you?
Yeah, very good.
Um,
Hope
so
you're
um,
fine too.
yeah, I'm fine. Thank you for accepting to do an interview about Sao Lim.
Yeah.
Maybe can you talk a little bit about yourself for those who don't know you? Do you mind?
Okay. First of all, thanks for the opportunity. Um,
Thank you.
and happy Mother's Day to everyone.
Okay.
um, okay, basically, I trained Sao Lim for 30 years this year.
You're disciple
Um,
of Dato Fung?
yes, a disciple of Master Fung, and I've been training for 30 years. And I started since um 1990 1990.
How old were
uh
you at the time? You were a young kid, no?
yes, at the time I was just 12 years old, so you know my age right now. And I started train Sao Lim in Chongling's high school, which is the same school as Ming Tong.
In
And
Penang?
yes, in Penang. And Ming Tong is very senior than me. When I joined Sao Lim, the time he has left the school.
Mhm.
So he very much elder than me. So he's like a legend, and we always heard about his name and his stories. So he's like the legend to us. Yeah.
What about your path in Sao Lim? So you started in Chonglin. You were a student of Master Pong at the time, or was it other instructors?
During that time, there's a one instructor. It's called people call him Achantik. His name is Li Qing Zhan, and he's
Uh,
famous of his the head, the iron head. So I saw his demo before that he broke five big pieces of
ice.
ice by using his head. And you know that our training hall, the second training hall, the conditioning place,
Yes.
the yeah, with the sandbag, right, the marble sandbags. And I used to see him, he throw and push the sandbag, fly away, okay, and swing like this, swing up, and then he jump up and hit. This is headbutt, hit the sandbag, and you can hear it, pow, and then the sandbag can swing.
Really?
So his head is really really hard. Yeah. So we train under him
Is he
during
still
the
alive?
schooling time.
Sorry.
He's still alive. So
Okay.
we train under him in Chongqing High School. And then because he also asked us to go down to the school, Sao Lim school. So he said that if you want to train additionals, you can go over there. So during that time, when we just a small kids, so we go to this Sao Lim school almost every Sunday. So there's an additional class at over there. Yeah.
Were you training every day at Chonglin or a few times a week?
During Chongling, there's only have a two times per week training. But for us, when we just firstly join, because of the schooling time, so we only can able to join only one training in 1 week. So which is just Saturday. So every Saturday afternoon from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. and we training at over there. And then if we want the additional training, so we will go down to the Southern School on Sunday. So we train from the suppose it's 4 to 6, and sometimes we go earlier. After lunch, then I'll take a bus, go down over there, and reach there at 2 p.m. So we start training from 2 p.m. until 6. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So from over there, then sometimes Master Fung he will conduct the training by himself. Sometimes by Li Qingzhang 教练. Yeah,
Okay.
that was a long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago. So a few weeks, a few years after that, you became an instructor. When we
Um,
first we met together 15 years ago already, yeah, in Penang.
I think so. A very long time ago. I
16
think more
years.
than
I
that.
think around, Yeah, I arrived in Penang in 2004, and I think it was December 2004, so almost 16 years. At the time, you were an instructor, and you were almost the only instructor in the Penang Athletic Association. So,
Uh,
how did you become the instructor at the time and taking care of the everyone?
I think just not really the only instructors, but
I
just
mean,
that
you were in
I
charge of the class.
I just conduct the class over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, after I trained in the Chongling High School, after I trained for I think 3 years, and my instructors Li Qingzhang Sao Lim, and he actually asked me to go for the instructor test and want me to become an instructor. But during that time, I feel that I'm not qualified, I'm not good enough. So I actually never declined and I never say yes to him as well. So I just never go for the test or whatever. So I just keep on trying to keep on practice, improve myself, until I really feel that I really qualify. Because to us, I feel that the instructors or you wearing the yellow t-shirts, the instructor shirts, um, to us, to me, I feel that it's very precious, and you shouldn't simply wear that shirt if you are not really qualified to be the instructors, because you are actually, when you are wearing that shirt, you are really represent Sao Lim. So you are not represent yourself, but is the whole organization, is the whole Sao Lim. So you must have a certain qualifications or the level before you really wear that can wear that instructor shirt. Yeah. So therefore, I don't feel that I'm qualified during that time. So I train hard and keep on pushing myself and try to reach another higher and higher level. And then until I forgot at which year, until there's a one time myself, Gary, um, Kiwei, yeah, and I think we went for the national competition. We qualified for that, the national competition, pushing hand competition. Then we won the first place. Then from Master Fung, he automatically award us as the instructor without any test during that
Mm.
time. So he straight award us as the instructors. Yeah, from since then I become the instructor. But after become the instructors, because there's so many instructors over there, there's quite a lot of other seniors instructors. So I never conduct any class and never teach anyone still in the school. So because I think I let the others instructors to conduct the class. I just help assist, whenever like Jimmy, Gary, I try to help, I try to assist. But most of the time, I let them lead the class. I started conduct the class because when there's less and less people, less and less students, um, and then there's like nobody willing to conduct the class. So, and during that time, there's still students coming in, they join us, and then Master Fung asked me to teach him. So, since I teach, so I conduct the class. So, um, yeah, I fix the time, I fix the training, set the systems. So, yeah, from there on, then I started to conduct the class.
Can you tell us, maybe for those who didn't know Master Fong, maybe how he was to you, the person he was, because you talk about the tradition and the respect of the yellow shirt, but somehow it's also the respect to Master Fong and all he did. You know what I mean? can you tell us a little bit about how you feel about Master? Now he's gone. He's late. He died. But how
Yeah,
was it?
he is a very great master. He's very generous, and sometimes he scores. Um, I think it's not in front of everyone, but only that a few of us. He will score us, um, um, and he always remind us to train and train hard, you know. And um, he did told us a lot of things. Um, I'm quite close to Master Fung, and we always talk about kung fu, right? And because um, most of the time after work, I already go to the school, the Sao Lim school. I will be there around 6. I reach there around 6, and then start from over there. I start training until the school closed at around 12 something or 1 p.m. 1 a.m. So yeah, so and Master Peng, he always come to open the clinics at around 7:30, and sometimes when there's no patient, then we will sit down and discuss about kung fu. We talk about kung fu. We talk about the associations and how we should move forward. So yeah, these are the things that we always discuss, and we even discuss like maybe that the systems is old and we should improvise the system as well. And also the name of Sao Lim. And he also thinking that maybe there's something will happen during that time. And then we're thinking of maybe wants to create another name, or to create another associations, okay, which is more to research and um, yeah, so that's for the group that intention to study more about the Sao Lim and to go further.
Okay.
He he also did talk about his unhappiness to me. Like one time he told me that in Mandarin, I still remember, he said that 家人啊，做人难啊。Meaning to say that he called me. My name is Jiaren, right? So he called me. He said that it's very hard to be a human, to be a person. Want to be a nice guy is very hard.
Yeah.
I know what he means because during that times a lot of some others seniors or some other people that's misunderstand him, or because he trying to help people, but people misunderstand him. So therefore he told me about these things. Yeah, so there's a lot of things that we did discuss about and we did talk
Yeah, with it.
about.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And what would you say Sao Lim brought to you in your life as a human being? Like you said, it's difficult to be a human being. So now that you've been practicing for 30 years and teaching, and you're still practicing every day, I suppose, because I think you're always practicing. Uh, yeah, what did Sao Lim brought to you now? If you look at yourself right now, you say, okay, it was important for me because.
I would say that Sao Lim is a very great martial arts or the great kung fu. Um, I feel that in Sao Lim, if you want to get or obtain the traditional martial arts, the kung fu itself, it's not easy. You need to put in a lot of effort. That's like, for example, the training itself, you have this flexibility, you have the power, you have the conditioning, you have the empty hand chapters, you have the weapons. So or you have the qigong itself. So everything is not easy. You need times, you need effort to put in order to achieve something. to achieve the standard. So the process to get or to become a somebody, to me, I feel that's the most precious things. Okay,
Did it
that's
help you to get? You're an engineer, and did in your life as a worker, you're an engineer.
I would say that it's very helpful in terms of whether in studies, in your work life, or in your life, it's very helpful. Why I say that is because, for example, to me, um, I always think that, for example, when it comes to studies, during the high school, my result is not good, So
Yeah,
after graduated, and I feel
yeah,
that,
that's you are very,
I
very clever.
know.
Very good.
So after that, I feel that why I can master so well in martial arts, in Kung Fu, but why not I can't master, or do well in my studies.
Okay.
So when I think back, I feel that, it's because I put in a lot of effort in Sao Lim Kung Fu. So, and in the other way, I think back that actually I didn't put a lot of efforts in my studies. So to me, I feel that there's nothing impossible. It's just that it's the matter that how much effort you put in actually. So it's like you're doing well in Kung Fu because you put in a lot of effort, you put in a lot of time. You go and study it, you research it. Therefore, you obtain something, you get something in the result. But when it comes to studies, if you never put in the effort, you never go and try to study and try to understand why, how to apply it, of course, you get nothing. You won't have a good result. So that's why after that, I apply the same methods, put in the efforts, and therefore, after graduated from high school, then my result will become better. When come to college. And another thing is, if you think back, when come to your life or whatever, when you feel any difficulties, so you can think back. It's so hard in the training, in our kung fu training. When we do the flexibility, it's so painful. The stretching is so painful. We do the conditioning, it's so painful. When you train your hand, train your leg, train your palm, whatever, it's so painful. But you can overcome it. But why not the pressure in your life? The pressure, you can't feel the pain. There's no pain. It's just a pressure. It's just a pressure by mentally. So, because of training of Kung Fu, it helps me to overcome all these things and make it easier in my life. So whenever I feel any difficulties in my life, I'll think back of Kung Fu and how I overcome it, how I can achieve what I achieved today. So, and then I think that I should able to overcome that the same things, um, the same
The
difficulties in
same
the
way
life.
you overcome
Yes.
this. Uh,
Yeah. So it just apply the same way.
for beginners of Sao Lim, the one who will watch this video, um, can you maybe give your explanation of what Kung Fu means? Because
Oh,
I know you
that's
have
great.
we talked about it a few times already, yeah? But I
Okay.
think it's very interesting the way you explain it.
All
So
right.
what
That's
is
great.
Kung Fu mean? What does Kung Fu mean?
Okay, that's very great. That I want to share this. I want to take this opportunity to share what is the Kung Fu means. I actually prepared the presentation slide. Let me show you. That's
Okay.
great that you asked.
Okay, perfect. Because
Okay.
I knew you were very good with this one. Oh,
Okay,
nice fan.
let me turn it this way. Okay, this is
Okay.
the wait. This is the presentation slide that I just prepared.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Okay. So Kung Fu, right? And
Mhm.
I think all of us know Kung Fu means that traditional martial arts. traditional Chinese martial arts, right?
Okay.
Okay, but these two words, Kung Fu, right? And actually for Gong, it can separate into two words, okay? Which is Gong itself. And this Gong means time or effort,
Okay.
all right? Okay? And the other word beside this Gong is, in Mandarin, we call Li. Okay? Li is energy or the power, all right? So when you combine these two words, this word Gong is means for skill, okay? And Fu is a person, okay? So to me, I feel that Kung Fu, all right, when combined with all these words together, it should be named or determined as, in order to be a skilled person, we must put in the effort in doing things for a period of time so that you can obtain this skill. So in order to be a skilled person, you need to put in the effort. The same thing like what I tried to explain just now. You know, in order to get the Kung Fu itself, you know, actually Kung Fu is not really means Chinese martial art. You know, for Chinese, Kung Fu can be means it is a skilled person. So we sometimes say that the carpenter, he has a very good Kung Fu. You know, his Kung Fu is very good. Meaning to say he's skillful, he's very skillful. He's a very skillful carpenter.
Yes, because tell me if I'm mistaken, but in Asia you say having kung fu, not doing kung fu. You know what I mean?
Yes,
In our
correct.
country, yeah, in our country we say, I'm going to do kung fu or to play kung fu. But
No,
in your tradition, it's more like having the kung fu.
that's the two meanings. Because this Kung Fu, I think Bruce Lee used it to term it as a traditional Chinese martial art. So if you say that I'm doing Kung Fu, means that you are doing traditional Chinese martial art. Because
Okay, okay.
when you talk about Kung Fu, when you say that you do Kung Fu, people will automatically think of traditional Chinese martial art. When they will never think of this karate, taekwondo, or any other martial arts, right? So it's only the traditional martial arts. And the modern
China.
type of martial arts, people say that it's a wushu. Okay, so when you talk about Kung Fu, people will think of the traditional Chinese martial art. So when you say that you have Kung Fu, meaning to say that you have the skill. It is slightly different things. So doing Kung Fu and having Kung Fu is different meaning. Okay, all right. So to me, I say that Kung Fu, is a reminder as a martial artist. It's a reminder to us that we have to work hard, we have to train hard, because in order to have the Kung Fu, you must train the Kung Fu. You must put in the effort, put in the time, to do it, practice it repeatedly, then only you'll get the Kung Fu. That's my explanations, my understanding of Kung Fu. So it should be a reminder to all the martial art practitioners, that is really a reminder to you. You need to train hard.
Yeah. Train hard to become a skilled person.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, very nice.
Oh, okay. So actually, over here I also have another I think few more slides that
Yes. Go ahead.
I probably try to also like to talk about improvements, right?
Okay.
So for improvements that
In martial arts or Sao Lim or improvement in general.
whatever about improvements, all right? Okay. So improvements, to me, I am thinking that there's two types of improvements. One is continuous improvements. Okay, so you can see the chart. There's the y-axis and x-axis, right? So there's a level and a time. So when you train, like just now the explanation in the Kung Fu as well. So you train for the period of time. After a period of time, then your level is going up. So if you straight line, this is, if you say a straight line go up, this is continuous improvement. But for continual improvements, okay, what is that? This is what I mean, continual improvements. Okay, so because continuous improvements is very stressful, because you have to keep on going. There's no rest. It's straight go up to the highest point, and
Is
it's
it
very
possible?
stressful.
Do you think as a human being it's possible to achieve continuous improvement?
It depends on how you look at it. If you talk about short-term achievements, it could be because in the short term of period of times, you want to shoot up and to achieve this continuously improve. If you have the time, you can do it. But it's very hard practically, right? Because we are working. We are not a professional martial artist, So we are working. We have a family. We have a lot of other things in our life. So
Yes.
that's why I try to talk about or introduce what is continuous improvements. So the continuous improvements can make us feel easier to achieve still the same level, okay? Still the same level, but you take longer time, of course.
Yes.
But at least you still, in overall, you're still improving.
Yes.
And you still achieve where you want to achieve. So you set the goals, you set the long-term goal, and then you achieve slowly. Eventually, you will still achieve your destinations. So this is what I meant of continual improvements. Okay. So for example, I think I explained to you before as well.
Yeah, you told me about this concept.
Yeah. So, when we start learning martial arts, we are at zero. Our level is zero. So after we train certain period of time, our level goes up because the time and then the level. So we goes up. And then during that time, if let's say, for example, we're facing, because we have exam, we have other important things to do in our life, and then we never train, we stop, right? So when we stop training, then this actually will go down. Okay, so and to prevent these things happens, actually, don't stop the training. What you need to do is you maintain it. When you maintain, okay, you might prolong this curve or this chart, you prolong the standard before it straight come down to the zero. So you prolong, and then when you have time, you push yourself again and go to higher level, and then so you may achieve another level. So when you don't have time, you prolong, you maintain, keep on training, but no need to push too hard. And then when you have more free time, you push again. So eventually you will achieve where you will achieve.
Your graph also explains why if someone, let's say we have the yellow shirt, but if we don't train anymore, we don't have the Kung Fu anymore. You know what I mean?
That's exactly.
Differently from some martial arts where they have belts and they have like the black belt and they stop training for 20 years and 20 years later they still say they are black belts, but they haven't been training.
So it's same thing, you see, after sometimes maybe at over here we teach chief instructors, But if you never train, you straight go down, come to over here. Of course, it won't straight come down.
Yeah, because in Sao Lim there's a timing. There's a notion of timing that needs skills to be refined. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
The timing is very important.
Not only the timing, but there's a lot of things you need to focus. That's why like I said just now, There's some, qi gong, conditioning, the
Also,
chapters itself. You need to go and remember the chapters, every steps correctly, and then the weapons, how to use it, how to apply it. Doesn't mean that you know the chapters, means you know how to apply it.
yes.
So it's the effort you put in to understand how to apply. So you know how to apply it, so you know the application. Right? So that make more sense to you when you're doing the chapters. Then when you come to do when doing the chapters, come back to doing the chapters, you know that, okay, why I need to do these steps? What's going on with these steps? What can I do with this step? So you can understand the steps better when you do the chapters.
Can I
So
ask?
like,
Can I ask you a
so yeah,
question?
yes.
Let's say, so we know there's, like you said, there's qigong, there's weapons, there's so many things to learn. Why would someone like a beginner now today would like to come and say, okay, I want to learn traditional Sao Lim? What would you say they will learn from it? You know what I mean? Why would they, instead of going for MMA or going for something else, it's some styles are easier and you can fight very fast, but there's a, I'd like to have your point of view of why do we still need Sao Lim in modern days? You know what I mean? It's complicated.
Um, yes, it's a very complicated question. Yeah. Um, yeah, people like fast right now nowadays, and they want to learn the things to get something fast, right?
Yes,
They doesn't want to go through
all
the
the training.
difficulties, all these trainings, and I feel that therefore that like just now I explained, that's why the mentally they are not strong because they never go through the whole process to strengthen the mental, to understand why, how. So therefore, because they just a very short period of time, and they just reach something. But they might not have good foundation, right?
Sao Lim will teach
Like
them a foundation.
because for example, we talk about Jing. You know that for Jing, looks easy, but it's not easy. When you train it the time, sometimes you feel that when you haven't achieved the level, right? Then you feel that sometimes I can do it. Sometimes I feel that I have the Qing, but how come sometimes I don't have the Qing? So what is the Qing? And even though that's you feel that you have the Qing, but how come I can't apply the Qing? So that's the process that you have to go through to go deep, to understand more, and to study it, so that you have a solid foundation.
Jing
And
is power, is it? Can we say power?
okay,
In Jing,
Jing is basically in Mandarin. Jing, we call it Jing. Okay, is explosion power. It's explosive power. So I like to explain it in this way. It's something like explosion, the bomb, right? So before you light up the bomb and it's nothing happen, it's very quiet, peaceful, nothing happen, and it's go and when it's in night the time, it suddenly go to the max. Bam! So same
yes.
thing to Jing. So from a very short period of time and the power go to the max. So it's an explosion, it's an explosion power. So it's like the Bruce Lee call it the inch uh,
One inch punch.
1 inch punch, that is because why 1 inch? And then because of just a shorten, just a very short distance, and it's a very short time, you go to the max, the power goes to the max. So it's an explosion power. That's Jing. So, and okay, we go back to the topic that's regarding the
The
students right
reason
now,
for
nowadays.
training nowadays, yes.
Yeah. Because they only look at the result. They never think of the process and they doesn't want to go through the process. and which the process can help you when you come to your life or whatever. To me, I feel that it helps us a lot. So it's not only we train martial arts. It's not only know how to fight, okay, but we know how to apply it into our life in real life. So we not only know how to fight, but there's another implicit meanings into it.
How to be a better human being, better
Yeah,
person.
correct.
Oh, thank you. So it's been 35 minutes. I think. Thank you. I think we can. Yeah, it went fast.
So fast.
Very fast because it was very interesting. Maybe if you want, we can have another chat another time together. I'm sure
Yeah.
they will be very nice. So thank you very much, bro.
All
Thank you,
right. Same
Kaji.
to you. Thank you. And stay strong. Everyone
Yeah,
stay strong. Stay
yes.
safely and stay healthy.
When quarantine will stop in Singapore? You're in Singapore right now. Do you know the end of the quarantine?
I'm in Singapore right now, and they call it circuit breaker, not lockdown. It's supposed to end 1st June, and we can back to work on 2nd June. So let's see how. Yeah.
Yeah, still few weeks to wait. Okay,
Yes. All
be
right.
safe. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Thanks for the opportunity. Thank you.
My pleasure.